like a Hellcat.
Hello and welcome back to the channel where once again it's time for another video. Now many people will know now CEX added the with manual and without manual listings to their website, and then a few days after that they implemented massive price increases across pretty much all of them. It started with the most popular systems like PS1, N64, Super Nintendo, I think probably the ones that they sell more of online, and it's gradually filtered through to other systems, Sega Saturn, Dreamcast. All the other ones now have got separate prices for with manual or without. Now I've done, I should say, what most other people did and gone through their PlayStation collection just to see what their values are now at CEX. Now I know full well CEX probably don't even stock 50% of the PS1 releases, but I thought I'd do it anyway. Lots of other people did it because they found out that lots of the games that aren't really worth much money had such increments, they thought, you know what, I'm going to trade them in because they're never actually going to sell for the massively inflated prices, and you wouldn't be able to sell them for that on eBay. So what I did was record some footage and I went through every single game that I own and looked at its value. So what I'm going to do is play you that footage right now. Now, you've seen the footage, but what happened was a few days later, a lot of prices went back down. And I don't know the exact reasons. It could be one, they could have had a massive increase of games traded in, but they noticed they weren't actually selling more. In fact, they were probably selling less because the price increases were so high. So they decided to readjust prices back down a bit. Great examples were games at £4, all jumped up to £10 with manual on the PlayStation. Games that were £6 jumped up to £15 with manual. Games that were £12 jumped up to £20 with manual. So these price changes were huge, and what they did was lower these prices back down. And I've got some examples now. So all those games that I just showed you in my collection and what their trade values had gone up to, they have now changed to all of these prices.
Can you see the sun is shining on me? It makes me feel so free, so alive. It makes me want to survive. And the sky, it makes me feel so high.
Now, you'll have noticed from watching that every single game went down in price, I think, with the exception of one, Grandstream Saga, which went up again. They now sell this for £48 with a manual and will give you a massive £32 trade-in for it. This game cost me £18 from World of Books about a year ago, and it does not sell for that much on eBay. It's just simply not worth it. So what I did was go through my games, picked a few games up out of my collection that I decided I was going to trade in. I'll show you those games on the screen now. Basically, a couple of Xbox games, PS1 game, 3 Saturn games, the Iron Skies game. I had put it on Vinted, but I thought, you know what, it doesn't sell very often. And even though it's worth about £30, I may as well trade it in and get the £23 in credit. And then I know that I'll spend it on more games for my collection. I put 3 Saturn games in there as well because they're ones I don't need. And because those games have gone up in price with manual as well, the £10, £10 and £14 trade in I'll get for those is actually pretty good. Plus, I wanted to see if they were more scrutinous over the quality when you trade a retro game in now, because lots of people have said, well, they should be, you know, if they're looking at the manuals, will they take the manual if it's in bad condition? And what I will tell you is that when I took these games in, the guy serving me took approximately between 15 to 20 minutes to check the 6 games that I took in. Grandstream Saga in particular, it was in great condition, by the way, nothing wrong with it at all. He went off to speak to somebody else about, I think just because it's worth quite a lot of trading, and they took them all, with the exception of my copy of GTA 5 that I got with that Xbox today. It had some surface scratches on, they didn't want it. All the other ones they took, the Sega Saturn manuals, he was really picky over it. They all were really good, and he was looking at them. He then dropped the Tomb Raider manual on the floor, and I was like, oh my word. But yeah, they took them all. I got a massive £89 credit for 5 games, which I just think is great for me because it means I've got a big credit note now that I can spend on stuff. But I can't see them selling Grandstream Saga for £48. No way. Silent Hill, by the way, jumped up to, what was it, 120 or 125, and they put that back down to £90, but they left the platinum on at £95. What on earth is going on with that? That's strange, because no one's going to buy the platinum version over the normal version. But of course, that is it for today. It's not a pickup video. It's just basically talking about how the prices have changed, how it's kind of benefited me for trading things in as well. But what are your thoughts on CEX and the prices going up, then the prices going down, probably because they haven't sold as much as they wanted? It's really kind of a topsy-turvy affair at the moment in terms of their prices. I think they're just trying to find the right ground to sell games with manuals and without, because some of the differences between with manual and without were huge. Other ones were much smaller. I've seen games that are £50 without, 55 with, but then you see other games that are such a big difference. It's kind of crazy, and I think they're just trying to figure out where they could price it and still sell games regularly. That is it for today. Thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below on CEX and their new pricings. And that is it for today, and I'll see you again. Goodbye for now.